Top 5 foods to avoid to lose weight in 2023. Weight loss isn't always a straight line. Eating unhealthy foods now and then is absolutely acceptable within a diet frame. But the problem occurs if you eat unhealthy foods thinking they're actually health foods, because that can lead to discouragement and disappointment on the scale later on. Number 1 is cheese. Great, you're eating a salad, but what you put on top is 70 to 80% fat. This is what I call the low carb weight loss fallacy. It doesn't really help you to lose weight, and here's why. Cheese are amongst the highest caloric foods you can eat per gram. And further than that, the high fat intake, your body has an easy time converting dietary fat into adipose tissue. So if you're in a calorie deficit, you will lose the body fat eventually. But if you replenish it with dietary fat, you end up where you started as soon as you eat normal again. Better options here is to put nutritional yeast on your pasta, although I wouldn't recommend zucchini pasta as it's really low in calories, and even though you want to lose weight, you want to give your body enough energy. So eat the normal pasta, make a low fat sauce, and then put some nutritional yeast on top. It's loaded with B vitamins, it's high in protein, it has fiber, and it's also low in fat. And number 2, fried foods as well as added oils. Potatoes are amongst the best things you can eat for weight loss, as they're really low in calorie, which give you a feeling of being very full for long, so you don't have to eat as much calories in your diet. But people underestimate how much more calories potatoes have and how unhealthy they can be when they are fried or baked with oil. Here's an example. French fries or chips have per 100 grams 300 something calories. And then you have boiled potatoes with less than 100 calories. So you could eat 3 times as much boiled potatoes compared to French fries. And the good thing with boiled potatoes is they're very high in carb and low in fat, meaning it gives you good lean energy for your body. And even if you overconsume calories, if you're staying very low in fat, your body has a hard time breaking it down and putting it to fat on your body. The reason for that is carbohydrates are first broken down into glucose and then into glycogen, which is stored in your liver and your muscles, so not necessarily as fat tissue. And if the body doesn't need the energy from the glycogen, they can break it down to fat. But the thing is, during the process of breaking down glycogen to adipose fat cells, it has to convert it, which already costs the body calories, aka energy. So you're really better off eating a high carb and low fat meal for weight loss. You probably also heard about the benefits of olive oil and flax oil, which can have beneficial fats that your body needs indeed. But the thing is, you don't have to consume the oil. If you want the same benefits of these ingredients and don't overconsume in calories, because it's very easy to add too much oil to your food, just eat the olives or eat the flax seeds, because then you get more benefits as well, because there's fiber and other nutrients in that whole food. And number 3 is a huge trap, which doesn't even exist in nature: high fat and high sugary foods. If you think about whole foods and foods we eat, no food has high calories of fat and sugar in the same item, but the food industry gave us ice cream and chocolate and cookies and cakes that makes our brain cells just light up, because we think, oh, this is so good for us because we get so many calories from it. But it's actually addicting. In this study, they tested it with ice cream. The problem here is, similar to drugs, we get some sort of resistance in our brain, meaning now we get a really good hit of dopamine and all these happy feelings after consuming it. But over time, we need to eat more to get the same feelings, which is kind of an addiction. So the faster you can minimize these foods, the better. A personal tip here is, for me, because I'm all about eating high carb and not high fat, is to make my own banana bread, for example. I use applesauce as oil replacement and it works amazing, and I have a treat that is sweet, that satisfies my sweet tooth, and I don't overeat in calories because of the low fat content. And number 4, meat. I'm sorry to break it to you if you've been convinced about keto, but meat consumption is correlated with weight gain. In this huge study, they looked at over 100,000 of participants over a 5-year period, and even controlled for activity, total caloric intake, as well as other factors. And they concluded that meat consumption is associated with weight gain. Period. And they also found that the strongest relation with annual weight change had to do with poultry consumption. I recently posted a video about chicken, which absolutely blew my mind when I found this out. That might be the reason for the results of the study. The researchers agree with the health recommendations to decrease the consumption of meat for health improvements. Now you're probably wondering, don't take my meat away, where do I get my protein? I'm glad you asked, because I was in the same position a while ago before I really looked into the research and tested on myself, and there would be my suggestion for you guys. If you are still unsure, although the evidence is clear, maybe just challenge yourself for 21 days and don't eat any meat or any of these above mentioned foods, and see what it does for your body and for your health. What other proteins can you eat? Well, there are legumes, there are beans, there's tofu. I know some of these foods might sound really boring to you, but believe me, with the right spices, with the right mixtures, you can even make burgers and other meat-like foods with plants in a healthy way. And number 5 is ultra-processed foods. If you now go to stores, and I know this is a very common tip on the internet because it's very true, the less ingredients that are in your packaging, the better. Minimalized processed, what I found was absolutely okay. So if you want to eat rice, if you want to eat pasta, that is absolutely fine. Just try to avoid foods that have loads of ingredients in it with loads of additives and artificial sweeteners, because they're usually not healthy for your gut and your biochemistry. So if you want to stay healthy and lose weight, try to minimize ultra-processed foods as much as possible. I hope you learned something new in this video. Let me know if you did, and make sure to subscribe to my channel if you're interested about learning more about evidence-based nutrition that can help you live a happier, healthier life. I hope you have a nice day whenever you see this and wherever you are, and take care. Bye.
7 hours driving on the highway, far away, far away, far away. Every moment I was spending on regrets was such a waste.